I just think that you guys are like in there like measuring with test tubes and stuff to figure out what you need to apply.
No, it's a lot of one pump of this shade and one pump of this shade and mix it together and see if it works.
Okay. Oh, see, okay. So you can. It's really weird to be in this podcast and not know anything about makeup. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 21, the show where you really get to know your vendors here in Oklahoma City. My name is Rob Jacobs. I'm the lead photographer and owner of Everything Photography OKC. And today I am sitting down with a talented artist, a talented makeup artist. You do hair as well. That's correct, right? No hair.
You
no
don't
hair.
want me near your hair.
Jamie Woody.
Hi.
Thank you for sitting down with me
Thank you
so
for having
much. This
me.
is the first time we get to meet.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll be working together here real soon.
I hope so.
And so tell me a little bit about your business.
I'm just freelance out of my house doing makeup. I just kind of taught myself from Pinterest to YouTube to practicing to just doing it out of my house.
That's awesome. How long have you been doing this?
I think I started in 2013.
Okay.
Just randomly found a Pinterest image and I'm like, well, that looks cool, and found her YouTube channel and went down that rabbit hole and never came
That's
back
awesome.
out of it.
Who's that YouTuber?
That one was Lauren Curtis.
Lauren Curtis.
She's based out of Australia.
Okay.
And she had 3 roommates that also have their YouTube channels. Okay. And I started following theirs, and it just kind of escalated from there.
That's awesome. Yeah. We so I kind of got into photography and video in a kind of a similar way. We started, watching YouTube just because we're, in our 20s, late 20s now, and we just are millennials, so we love YouTube. And I found a couple of people named Peter McKinnon, Casey Neistat, the kind of some famous people who do YouTube, and I loved their style of shooting video and creating stories to share. And so I started really kind of getting interested in doing videography. A short time later, we won a camera off of one of those penny auction websites. Do you know what those are? Mm-mm. So it's basically a website where you are bidding on items, but you bid by pennies, like by cents, not dollars. To get each one of those pennies, though, you have to pay 50 cents per penny. It's kind of a weird conversion as how they make their money. And then when you bid on something on that website, if you don't win, all that money is still gone. So they make a lot of money, but I got a camera, a really good DSLR, for $115. So I was able to kind of start doing some YouTube stuff just because I found a couple of guys that I liked. So similar to you found this thing on YouTube and Pinterest that you liked, and you really just kind of chased after it.
Basically.
That's awesome. Hey guys, real quick, if you like this video, if you like the content we're bringing to you guys, hit the like button, but also hit the subscribe button. The more people that subscribe, the more brides we get to help out, the more vendors we get to introduce to brides. So help us out, hit that subscribe button, and we'll jump back into the video. You have a niece that you like to put makeup on, is that right?
Cousin. Well, are we talking about the one that had homecoming just now? Yeah, that's my cousin.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. She's proms and her homecoming. She's one of my favorite faces to do for sure. I know you saw her pictures.
Yeah, she's a really pretty young lady,
beautiful.
and good luck with her, figuring out her own makeup, because she's got a cousin to do it all for her.
I think now it's to the point where she's like, I don't have to do my own makeup.
Exactly.
She just lives down the street from me, so she's like, I'll just go to your house.
So Sierra, my wife, we were talking before, and she's a cosmetologist. And do you still have your license up to date? And she does makeup and hair for like everyone in our family, and it's like no one knows how to do their makeup anymore. They just come to her.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
So hopefully in the near future, you won't be like the only person. Do you make your family pay?
No, I'm trying to figure out how to word this because I don't want to sound like I charge some people and some I don't. But family
is family. Yeah, I do a lot of photo shoots for like my family, my in-laws, and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, it's hard to ask them to pay as much.
And it's practice too.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
And my friends, if they have family portraits or whatever coming up, or church members, sometimes they end up paying when I'm not charging them, which is always fun. But yeah, for my family, I don't charge them.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. My mother-in-law, Sierra's mom, she just got married. And, instead of making her pay, like, we needed a new couch because we have 2 dogs. You have pugs, right?
I have a pug and a French bulldog.
How destructive are they? They look so sweet. They look sweet in pictures. How are they in person?
The pug is I want to say the calm one, but that's actually not true. The French Bulldog is the little terror, but once they're sleeping, they're fine. Once they're up and around and breathing, they're not perfect little angels. Oh, they are perfect little angels, but you know what I mean.
Are they? Is it a pure pug?
Really?
Okay. I grew up with a friend who had a pug Wawa, which is a Chihuahua pug mix, and it's as terrifying as it sounds. He had the body of a pug, and then the beginning of like his main cranium was definitely a Chihuahua, and then as it comes down, it just squishes in, and it's like, you're the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life, but I love you so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad for ever calling a dog ugly, because I don't like pugs the way they look, but if one gets up with me and cuddles in my lap, I'm smitten. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mine are like opposite, because my pug is like no head and all body, and then my French Bulldog is all head and no body, and they both weigh almost 40 pounds apiece, and so it's like having actual toddlers, because I don't have kids.
Yeah, so we don't have kids either.
Yeah.
And that's the reason we have 2 dogs currently. And every now and then, whenever, if another year goes by and we don't have a kid, like, I see us getting another dog.
Yeah.
And we've been kind of thinking about a French Bulldog. So, yeah, they look really sweet. Are they loud? Are they rambunctious? We have a husky right now. We have a husky and a koi dog, which is a coyote mixed breed.
Yeah.
And they play so well together. They're great, but they're all over the house. Like, you know how cats get the zoomies?
Yes.
That's what our dogs do. Do they do the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they used to. They're both almost 13, so they're kind
wow.
of slowing down. But they both did the whole zoomies. Like my pug, 40 pounds, runs faster than any dog I've ever seen in my life. Used to, but now he's getting older. He's like, nope, I think I'd rather just hang out on the couch. But whenever they do play together, they do play very well.
Yeah. I feel bad, slightly. Because I do feel bad, but I don't feel bad. I'm glad that our husky has calmed down, because huskies are known for the energy, and we just wanted a husky for whatever reason, and he was a great deal. He was only $200, and he's a pure husky. He's piebald, which basically he's a white color. He's like pure white, and he's gorgeous. But when he was a puppy, like we even tried to crate train him, but he had too much energy, and finally, we've got him to the point where we can leave him home alone. We have this nice muzzle. It fits his face really well. He can get water and food through it because it's got big enough gaps. But we've calmed him down to the point where he started putting on weight, and I'm like, oh no, that's not where we wanted to go. I don't want him to be unhealthy.
Right.
Yeah,
they're very so much spoiled that people actually kind of make fun of me because I work, from home, and so they're home with me all the time, and we're on a schedule. Like, I let them out, so I don't like leaving them home alone. So anytime I go anywhere, my mother babysits them, like every weekend, Friday night.
Tell me more about what you do.
I work it's a life insurance company, and they are based in Nashville, so I work remotely from home.
Okay. Is it like customer support?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a customer support senior assistant with different kinds of life insurance policies.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I hate that I know next to nothing about life insurance.
You know what? I've been doing it 15 years and I still don't know.
Oh, really?
I learn something new every day.
Well, you make me feel a lot better. I was in the Army, they near force you to have a life insurance policy, and it doesn't really cost a lot extra if you die in combat. It's your family gets a lot of money. You know what I mean? And since we got out, I was in the reserve for about a year, and we kept it, and then now I'm out of the reserve, and I have no life insurance. But it absolutely terrifies me because we have a lot of crazy stuff going on today, whether it's COVID or whether it's, I feel like people are getting more aggressive even when they're driving.
Right.
And maybe that's a little bit of the pent-upness coming from COVID. I don't know. But yeah, we'll have to figure the life insurance thing out at some point.
Yeah, I definitely try to... not that I'm like going around preaching life insurance,
Yeah.
but people who ask me, my number one piece of advice is the younger you are, do it. Because I'm 41 years old, so if I wanted to get a new policy right now, I'm going to be paying double what I could have if I got it. Oh yeah, the older you get, the more health things.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, and so like just because you're coming in at a little bit of an older age,
right.
they say there's more risk.
Yes.
Okay, I can get that. Risk management.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So today's kind of a weird day for everybody in the world.
Because there's no Facebook?
There's no Facebook. There's no Instagram. I don't use WhatsApp. I don't even, I barely know what that is. It's just a messaging thing, right?
Yeah, I don't. The only time I use it is when my sister goes out of the country. She uses it to text, so I only have it activated like when she's gone. So.
Okay, yeah. So we were looking. We had lunch right before we came here. Good old Brahms in the United States of Oklahoma.
Oklahoma Brahms.
I love that place. That place is
Me too.
pure gold. But we were looking, and there's 86 different different applications and resources that Facebook owns. All the way, I didn't realize quite that they own Oculus. You know, do you do VR much?
No, but when I was just reading before I got here about how it was down, and it had mentioned that because I had never heard of it.
Yeah, Oculus. So virtual reality is a thing we're really into. We don't play much virtual reality, but we follow it quite a bit. We shoot every now and then with a 360 camera, which is basically about the size of a GoPro. You know what a GoPro is, surely. And there's a 180 degree field of view camera on either side, so it shoots a 360 video. So when you watch it back, you can look all the way around. And you can watch it back in virtual reality,
right?
And it's really cool. It's like you're at your wedding again, which is a really fun thing. But now, if this doesn't come back up, you know, if Facebook, hopefully they do recover. I imagine they're going to. You know, I don't know what's going on really, but I imagine if they do recover, then people will start being able to see those videos again, you know. But yeah, for right now, we're kind of thinking, man, we might have to stop advertising this 360 thing because that's how people view this is on Oculus. So yeah, it's kind of a scary thing. Most of our business comes from Facebook. What about yours?
I mean, yeah, word of mouth through Facebook.
Yeah,
people, yeah.
And I didn't realize it was today that I realized how much Facebook Messenger is used in my life.
Yeah.
You know, we play D&D. We have family chats. We typically don't even call each other on our cell phone anymore. It's all Facebook Messenger.
That's what my husband and I do.
I don't have half of my friends' phone numbers.
We just talk on Facebook.
We just talk on Facebook. And like you, like we talked on Facebook. So I had no way of saying, hey, we're still on for today. You know, it's such an odd thing. Are you on any other social media platforms that aren't belonging to Facebook?
No, just Facebook and Instagram are the two main ones that I do.
Yeah, I'm thinking about trying some different things. I'm not on Twitter. But
I can't figure it out. Like Twitter and TikTok, don't even ask me to try.
Yeah,
I can't.
I hesitate to say that TikTok is for 14-year-olds because, you know, people like Gary Vaynerchuk, people that are super successful, they have TikTok. They use TikTok. Any big YouTuber you know is using TikTok.
Right.
We've started a TikTok. She's in charge of that. I feel like you have to be either unaware of how cringy you are on TikTok, or you have to be so self-aware that you don't care. You know, and I like to think I'm self-aware, but maybe not that much.
Sure.
But yeah, I just signed up for Twitter, and I'm trying to figure that out. But there's not much else. You know, there was that thing, Parler, that was trying to come up a few months ago, and there was just not much there. You know, I even took a look at it, but there was just nothing on there. You know, there's no other options.
Yeah,
we're in a really weird space.
And I'm too old and set in my ways to try to learn a new one. Like the only time I think I've been on Twitter is one time, like after Hamilton came out, I was like, "Oh, let me tweet Lin-Manuel Miranda and see if he responds back to me." He didn't.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's a good production actually. I was really surprised by it. It's man.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, Hamilton. Yeah, of course. I'm not a history buff, which is weird because I love learning about history. But when I watched that, I was like, this is how you make me learn new history things.
Exactly.
You know, the room where it happened, that'll get stuck in your head all day long.
Yes, it does.
But yeah, so I really do appreciate you coming to hang out with us for a little bit. Tell me about how your business started, because I love origin stories. It's like my favorite thing.
You know, I honestly don't even know. I mean, it started with the first actual, I don't want to say clients, the first people that I actually worked. Well, I started doing makeup for my best friend, just like she was my guinea pig. And and then her niece and her best friend from our church, it was her prom. And so I was like, well, let me get some practice. And then it just kind of started spreading word of mouth, through church, and then posting it on Facebook. And then I was like, okay, well, I don't know about, what I'm talking about, taking pictures like with a professional camera, like makeup artists do. So I'm like, I'll just put selfies up with my own makeup, and because I don't want to sound braggy, but people always, like, oh, your makeup looks really nice. And, okay, well, let me put a picture of it, So it just kind of started just selfies of myself, and then just word of mouth, friends and family.
And you're doing a lot of prom, right? And you're doing...
prom, homecomings, family portraits, and I've only had I want to say 5 weddings, I think.
Okay.
So I'm
when did you start doing the weddings?
I did not start. What was the first wedding? Weddings. I had a friend that was a bridesmaid, and that was maybe 4 years ago.
Okay.
But the actual whole bridal party, I think I just had my first one like 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah. So that's a hectic thing.
Yes.
Tell me about your first experience with that, because that's hard to get everybody nailed down, and that's a lot of makeup.
And see, the thing is I'm still kind of getting established, right? And so it's not like I have like all this advertisement, and so it's just, okay, go tell your friends if they need your makeup for a wedding. And so a bride will contact me and let me know, it's just me and my mom, or it's me and this many bridesmaids. And I had one that was like 6 bridesmaids.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but I only do a trial on the bride. I don't do trials on the bridesmaids, so I only do them day of.
Oh wow.
And so it's really kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Because I'm just kind of going on the fly. But
did you feel like you bit off more than you could chew
yes.
right there? Yeah.
Very much so. And I, how I talk a lot, and so I find myself talking more than doing the makeup, and so I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to give myself an hour, and it's like 3 hours later, I've still got so I have to learn to manage my time a little bit better.
Yeah, it's got to be hard for you because you know what you're capable of.
Yeah.
And when you have 6, 7, 8 bridesmaids to take care of,
right?
Obviously you spend way more time on the bride herself. Yes. Do you ever have to cut yourself short? Like, you know what you want to do. You have this canvas in front of you, this beautiful woman in front of you. It's like, I know what I want to do on your face.
Yeah,
but
that's why.
I can't.
Right. Well, I tried to go ahead and, especially, I haven't done many people that I haven't known, which I haven't already known their face. I've had referrals and I haven't met them yet. And so when they come, they always come to my home for the trial. Mostly because I have way too much makeup. Like, I'm not lugging it around town. So it's like, come to my house, we'll do the trial, and then I know exactly what to take. And then I take extra things for what I think would work for the bridesmaids. So by then, I'm already familiar. I know the bride.
Do you have the bride give you, like, pictures of the
bridesmaids? Yes, I always tell them.
In our last one, we interviewed Brittany Osornio. I'm so bad with her last name. It's really cool. I think it's, like, Italian. But we interviewed her a couple months ago, or maybe a month ago, and I didn't understand how she knew what makeup she needed to take, but you asked for photos of the bridesmaids?
Well, I mean, I don't. I kind of just guess. I just take a few different shades of foundation, and I'll take like 1 or 2 eyeshadow palettes, and I just kind of make it work. But I already know exactly for the bride because I've already got it all completely planned out, and then I just put a few more things on my kit.
Okay, see, I'm a guy. I don't know how makeup really works. Like, is there like it's easy if you just take a few different shades of foundation and you can make it work?
For me.
Okay, see, to me, I'm thinking girls are so much experts at like color theory and all of this intricate stuff, because your makeup looks really good. My wife does amazing makeup herself.
She looks great.
I just think that you guys are like in there like measuring with test tubes and stuff to figure out what you need to apply.
No, it's a lot of 1 pump of this shade and 1 pump of this shade and mix it together and see if it works.
Okay. Oh, see, okay. She can. It's really weird to be in this podcast and not know anything about makeup. Yeah. You can mix that stuff together and get different shades. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, yeah, because like the main issue I run into is like you either have. I always have extremes. Like, because I'm the palest of the pale. Like, I always I joke like I'm the color of concrete. Like I disappear in the sidewalk. Yeah. So you either have someone who's really, really pale, or you have a darker skin tone, and so you can just kind of find ranges in between and just kind of mix and match and kind of make it work. Okay. Cool. As opposed to going out and buying like 17 shades of foundation.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you is, do you have a certain brand that you like to go with? Is there anything specific that you love?
Whatever catches my eye.
Yeah.
My husband says, you go to Ulta and do your thing, and I come back and I sometimes get in trouble. And
I tell this story as much as I can. and she already knows where I'm going. I was a private in the Army. Oh my gosh. And if anybody knows anything about being in the military, is when you first come in the military, you have no money. You're broke. You're like a college kid. You got no money. And so I was a private, and we had just gotten married, and it was Sierra's birthday, February 2nd. 3rd. I knew that. I knew that. I don't know why I did that. So February 3rd,
you need to go to
she
Ulta
goes
now.
out. Oh no, my Lord and Savior. So she went out with her mom, and her mom is like, "It's your birthday. Buy some things." And so they go to Ulta or Sephora. They go to Sephora. Yeah, it's the same thing with a different logo. It's all expensive. That's all I know. All I know is like later, an hour later, there's $400 coming out of my already broke bank account, and I'm like, okay,
yes.
I guess we're eating bread with butter and ramen for the next month.
Basically.
Buy that much.
Yeah, and so her mom, I tease her mom all the time. I was like, thanks for that, because she blamed it on her mom, so that's who I get to blame it on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you kind of whatever catches your eye. Where do you usually buy your makeup from?
I do always go to Ulta and Sephora any chance I get, but I do like a few of the high-end things that you get from Ulta, but I actually prefer drugstore makeup.
Really?
Yeah.
Like Walgreens, CVS?
Target, Walgreens, CVS.
Get out.
Yeah. And my main thing when people, because I did not go to school, I'm not an esthetician, but I always have to harp on I'm 41 years old, so I got to pass down my wisdom to the young ones. So I always try to, for my brides, because they're like, oh, well, I really like this, I want to start doing it going forward. And I will say, well, my recommendation, if you're going to spend money on your skincare.
Okay.
Right?
And on the skincare, yes, not the makeup.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a blank canvas. If you have a nice canvas, whatever makeup you put on is going to look good. But if your skin is crap, then, it's like spackle on top of, crap. So
yeah, we were talking. I lived in South Korea before, and they have a intense regimen, skincare regimen.
Korean beauty is amazing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the we had a YouTube channel before we started doing this in South Korea, and it's called RC Life 365. On that YouTube channel, one of Sierra's solo videos is doing like a haul from what was that place called? Olive Young. And everything they sell there is just skincare stuff. There's some makeup stuff, but it's mostly skincare. And so she has this like $25 haul where she gets all this stuff. And there's just a bunch of masks and stuff like that. And she's kind of getting some advice from some Korean girls and like different routines to go through. Yeah. So it's really interesting how they really do care about the skin care as opposed to makeup. Though they do a lot of makeup. Have you seen? I'm sure you've seen the Korean makeup videos where like they have like the fake nose and like all. It's so crazy.
It's like magic.
It is like magic.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I need some of that in my life. Like that's intense. I know we're in 2021 and people are a lot more accepting of guys wearing makeup. I'm not there yet. Maybe we will be. I don't know. But yeah. So you like CVS and Walgreens and Target.
I do.
What brands would you suggest someone go to look for?
I'm really big on L'Oreal, Milani, and Maybelline. I think are probably my top three choices.
Okay. And those have been around for a long time.
Yeah, but they're really, drugstore didn't used to be all that great, but they're really, the quality is just as comparable as high end.
Well, I can kind of understand that at least because Walmart clothes didn't used to be that good, but now it's like that's where I go to if I'm looking for something. That's where I go to. Most of my polos are from Sam's Club, which is of course Walmart.
Yep.
And it's really surprising. So yeah, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Maybelline, L'Oreal, and what was the other one? Milani. Okay.
Just my personal recommendations.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. That way, people want to get some more, not Sephora cost makeup in their life.
Like my husband, stop going to Sephora.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go to Target.
Speaking of your husband, how did you guys meet?
Oh, that's a story. Actually, I have been best friends with my best friend since we were 11.
Okay, wow.
Her brother is my husband's best friend. So I actually met him when I was 14. He was 18 and I was 14.
Okay.
But we just all grew up in the same neighborhood and we haven't been together the whole time, obviously, because, life happened, and then we reconnected on Facebook.
Rip.
In 2014. So
yeah, that's awesome.
What would have happened if Facebook was down that day?
Well, yeah, right. Oh my gosh, all the people that may not meet their significant others today. Like, oh, it's so rough.
Yeah.
We'll have to check. Like, by the time this is over, if we're back up and running. And this is the longest Facebook's ever been down.
I know. I thought it was me and like my phone, and I'm panicking.
Everybody. I talked to the lady at the front here, Denise, and I was like, hey, yeah, we just checked our laptop, and because we thought our Wi-Fi went out, and then we checked our phones. We thought our signal was crappy, but no, it's just Facebook. Part of me wants it all to just go down.
Away.
Yeah, because did you hear the 60 Minutes interview with the whistleblower? So it's this lady who I think is a former employee for Facebook. She was on 60 Minutes, I think, just this morning, and she was talking about how Facebook. And this isn't anything that's really been secret, but I think another insider from Facebook coming out to say it has been such a big deal, is what it sounds like to me. But that Facebook is pushing information, whether true or not, to politicize and polarize people even more. Have you seen that documentary?
No.
I
already tell you no.
Okay. You're not a documentary person.
Not
okay.
really.
Well, there's a great one, and you should definitely look it up. It's called. It's not called The Social Network.
It's called something.
It's called The Social Dilemma. It's called The Social Dilemma, and it is about how Facebook and YouTube and these algorithms they've figured out that if they can get you to be emotional on their platform, they can keep you hooked, and the easiest emotion to invoke in you is actually anger. And so they push these political things towards you to get you angry, and to whether your friends believe the same or not, it's separating everybody. It's polarizing people more and more. And a lot of people feel like that's what's led to a lot of the riots and a lot of the January 6th stuff. A lot of craziness happening, is that social media and these algorithms are really pushing that. So it's called The Social Dilemma, and it's interesting on that all of our social media platforms are doing that. And what the whistleblower was pointing out this morning was that Facebook needs to be held accountable for this dissent in civility. And she was talking about how I don't know how much of this part is accurate. I'd be very interested in the coming days to figure out what is accurate about what she said and not accurate. But she was saying that leading up to the election, Facebook had tried to stop pushing these polarizing things, and so that there would be less riots and less confrontation going on. But as soon as the election was over, she said that they adjusted the settings again and were pushing that again. And so it just shows that Facebook knows what they're doing and is prioritizing profits over civility and safety.
I believe it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. But The Social Dilemma is a great thing to watch, a great documentary to watch, to kind of be able to understand that. And it's eye-opening, really. But
is that like on Netflix?
It's either Netflix or Amazon. I think it's Netflix.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, and you'll be looking at your phone and it's like, man, I'm not getting on you for a while.
At least 5 minutes.
And there's a part of it because I'm very back and forth, conflicted on a piece of this, because Facebook, we know that it takes data. Right, it takes our data and it sells our data. Well, it's selling your data to people like me who run advertisements on Facebook for brides and grooms who need photography and videography. But it's also selling that data to people that have more malicious intent, and they want to push political ideas. They want to push agendas. And so I would like to see Facebook doing less of that data collection and selling to the wrong people. But at the same time, I know that data collection helps small businesses as well. Yeah. And so it's kind of a conflict, And hopefully, I don't know if you're interested at all. Do you have a business page?
No.
Yeah. Are you interested in all having a business page?
If just not. I feel like I'm just not smart enough to figure that out.
It's really not hard. It's really not hard. I know you're saying you're 41. 41's not that old. Come on. No, it's not. You're like 10 years older than we are. You're not that old. Okay, so you got it. I can already tell you're a smart girl. You'll figure that out.
Nope, that's absolutely false. It's actually a running joke about how completely blonde I am. So.
That's awesome. So does your husband know much about social media and the internet and stuff?
I mean,
because like you've already said, you don't need to be doing hair and makeup.
Right.
It's just what you like to do,
yeah.
right? And so I think if you wanted to really up your game, because you, like you said, you're kind of getting into this thing right now.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to up your game, that business page, it's really easy. It's just another profile. Is all it is. It's super. It takes 5 minutes to set up. And if you want, I could send you a YouTube video on how to do that. Maybe. If you were interested in that. Not saying you have to. You can run your business however you want to run your business, of course. But it helps a lot because people have a hub to go to.
Right.
And they can go straight to that and look at things like a portfolio and stuff like that. Because right now you do that all in your profile, right? And so you don't want, one thing that you probably don't want is somebody coming to your profile and taking any issue with any views or any personal things that you might share, right? Because that's none of their business, right? So having a business page just kind of makes that a little bit easier. So if you want to do that, I would love to help you out with that. But yeah,
I'm trying.
Cool, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. So what do you have for a portfolio right now?
Just an album and my pictures on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just pictures of me and my own makeup.
Yeah.
And I mean, people that not just me, but.
Yeah. So advertising wise, it's mostly word of mouth for you right now. And you're doing a portfolio on your profile page, which is great to have a hub that you can actually also use that URL and just send that URL to people. Yeah. Do you chase any leads like on any of the Facebook pages or anything like that when people put on there? Or are you on any of the wedding Facebook pages?
I am on some, and usually as opposed to me chasing leads, a bunch of my friends tag me and stuff. Yeah. I mean.
And then those people reach out to you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Yeah. So as photographers, videographers, I'm sure you see people when they ask for a photographer, a videographer, they get swarmed.
Yes.
And so it's kind of hard to figure out, like, should I be swarming them to get the business, or do I wait for them to contact me? Because we have a lot of vendor friends and photographer friends who will suggest us as well. But yeah, so you kind of just wait for them to contact you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
For the time being, anyways.
Yeah. And as you learn more about it and you can kind of push a little further, then maybe you'll be able to just figure out the right verbiage. Because that's another hard thing about it, is when you're reaching out to them, it's like, what the heck do I even say? You know?
It's always really embarrassing because I always talk before I think, and so whenever someone I try to be funny and I'm like, let me beat your face, and I'm like, oh wait, that's not professional and that's not what I'm trying to say. And
that's funny.
Yeah, I'm like, why don't you just come to me? And
so if we have any veterans that are watching this at all, tell me what the sentence "beat your face" or the phrase "beat your face" means. Do you know what that means in the military?
No. In the military, no.
It's not. It doesn't mean to apply makeup. It does not mean to apply makeup. So in the Army, if you say to beat your face, it means start doing push-ups.
Oh.
Beat your face, like against the ground.
No. That's not what I mean.
Right. And so I heard somebody say that the first time, meaning makeup, and I was like, what? You beat your? I'm so confused. You beat your face. Yeah.
That's funny.
It's cool how different worlds have like the same words and they mean different things. But
that is funny.
It's interesting. Speaking of Facebook and everything like that, you nonstop share your faith on Facebook, and I think that's a really cool thing. So I got saved in 2012 in a old Pentecostal church out in the middle of a bean field, which is super weird for a guy who grew up, who's kind of an atheist, coming into a Pentecostal church where they're screaming, yelling, falling down, speaking in tongues and stuff like that.
Right.
Super surprising. Super, other sides of the fence. And I love sharing that with people because where God has brought me from and to is an amazing place. And I'm curious for you, what does that journey look like? What did that look like for you?
It's actually been a really long road because I started going to church when I was 13.
Okay.
And, you know, I got saved then, which come to find out was not authentic. And, you know, you do the things you're supposed to do. You go to church and you say the things you're supposed to say, and then you get older and you know, move out of the house. And I was previously married and had moved away and came back and got divorced. And actually, it was, I might get emotional. My best friend that I was telling you about, we both actually kind of got saved at the same time when we were 13, but hers was genuine and mine was not. And so we actually got a new pastor a couple years ago, and so she was like, "Come back to church. You're gonna love this guy. You know, this is where you need to be." And I kind of kept, okay, well, just all right. I'll just go and see because I need to get back in. Mm-hmm. And then so I started going back and like just fell in love, and I don't mean that inappropriately, with the pastor and his wife, and she's my Sunday school teacher actually. And so I went back with the intention of, okay, I left and I need to come back, and then just come to find out I was going to renew my membership.
Okay.
And so my best friend came with me and talked to my pastor's wife, and we went through everything, and I was like, you know what? It wasn't even real. And so it was 2 years ago in March.
Was it maybe when you were 12, right?
13.
13. Mm-hmm. So was it, that's what the cool thing seemed to be at the time?
Yeah, all my friends, you know, everyone I went to school with, we were all in the youth group, and J.C. Watts he's a congressman.
Okay.
He was our youth minister, and so it's kind of like, you know, you want to fit in, and well, J.C.'s saying that I have to say this, and because if you don't, then I don't want to go to hell, so I'm going to say what I need to say.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just, you have that, the head knowledge, but not the heart knowledge.
Absolutely, come on.
Yeah, so I kept doing it because I was supposed to, and if I keep saying this and I keep doing this, then I'll get to heaven. And then it just wasn't until, you know, you get slapped in the face. That's literally not, you can know it all day long, but until you live it and believe it.
Yeah, come on. And the fact that your salvation does not rest on your shoulders after you ask Jesus to take it, you're not going to be able to take it back from Jesus.
Exactly.
You know, when you ask him from your heart, save me from this sin and iniquity that I found myself in, you're done. That's it. You're good. You can still sin.
I was going to say, it's still a struggle.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people, you're like, oh, well, you're a Christian. Well, the second you screw up, then you're a hypocrite. And it's like, no, I'm human just like you, but I have redemption now. You know, and that's...
One of my favorite pastors is a guy named Brian Beasley. He's from the Ramp in Hamilton, Alabama. And I went to ministry school there, and he would talk about these great men of faith, you know, John Wesley, Oral Roberts, these great men who, in their biographies and in the stories about them, they're not perfect, but yet God used them in such a powerful way, you know, to think about King David and how jacked up that guy was, and yet God would still dare to call him a man after his own heart.
Everyone in Hebrews 11 in the Hall of Faith, literally screwed up every step of the way, but they're still in the Hall of Faith. So,
come on, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a little bit more of a non-traditional Christian. I think I would say we don't go to church. I have a little bit of an odd view on church. I feel like we have kind of moved into a direction that maybe Jesus didn't intend. It's become more of a business, I believe, than it was intended to. I think it was meant for salvation, and then flip it around and then go get more people saved. But we, instead of making people leaders, I think we've kind of got a lot of sheep here, and we've just kept them as sheep instead of turning them into leaders. And I think that's a very important conversion time.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're right, and that people don't want to tell you, you know, that it's okay, that you don't have to be perfect. You know, it's a very valuable step in Christianity.
Right.
I had a friend that got saved right before me. I won't say his name, but he got saved about a month before I did. And he found himself slipping back and back and back to the point where our Pentecostal surroundings didn't accept it. And he today is no longer a Christian. He's completely denounced God and denounced Jesus altogether. It is very easy to drive people away.
Yeah.
it's very hard to pull them in, but very easy to drive them away.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I thank you for sharing your faith online. That's a very big deal. And I'm sure having, being in Oklahoma, brides have got to love that as well, right? Does that help you at all, do you feel?
I don't know. I would hope so.
Yeah.
It does get the word like spread more throughout church, but I don't really know. I haven't really had many brides or clients that I wasn't associated with church already anyways, but I would hope going forward that it would give an opportunity at least.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. And do you find, so the other passion you have is to be a victim advocate, right? And we've kind of slightly talked about that. And are you comfortable talking about that?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So do you find that you're able to help in the church at all with that?
I haven't had an opportunity yet. I did have a conversation with my pastor's wife about maybe some opportunities in different ministries that could potentially come into play, but nothing that has been solidified just yet. So
cool. But there it looks like there might be something on the horizon for you to be able to use that passion.
Yeah.
Okay. Really cool.
Trying
that's
to,
awesome.
anyways.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's a very big deal. We were talking about. I was a sexual. I was on the team for sexual assault and drugs in South Korea, and it's a very big deal to have for victims to have somebody that they can truly trust and truly rely on.
Right.
They may not open up to investigators. They may not be able to do that, but they can usually. They may be able to open up to someone who is going to be more patient and has the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's just their heart. For your heart to be there is a big deal.
Yeah, but it's difficult, but it's necessary, I think, for sure. Especially, you're right. It's hard to open up to a stranger, and so my mindset is. I would hope that it's easier for them to open up to a fellow victim because they've been there before. And, you don't ever want it to be about you, but you want to be able to say, I can empathize. I've been there. I've been where you're at. And, there's another side to it, and you just got to get through it. And you need someone to help you through it that understands. And not to say that, investigators or other kinds of enforcement can't, but it's just, in my opinion, I would think it's just easier to relay that to someone that knows
what that feels like.
What it feels like.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have never been, okay, I guess I won't say that. I have never been traumatized by a sexual assault event. When I was like 16, 17, one of my first jobs, I worked at a Taco Bell. And there was this lady there who just thought it was appropriate to slap the young guys' butts. And it was super weird. And I remember that to this day, like that was super weird, but it didn't traumatize me in any way, I couldn't tell you why I didn't. Maybe because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I was immature, and so I thought it was funny. And there's nothing acceptable about that, of course,
Right.
So you're right. I couldn't relate to that the same way that you would be able to. Yeah. So I appreciate your heart and being willing to open up to people with that. That's a very big deal. But yeah, so you were saying that you might see something with that in your future, as far as like a career.
I don't know about a career. I'm happy with my job and
you like what you're doing.
Yeah, it's just something that I initially wanted to do, kind of how we talked. Whenever I first decided that I wanted to start getting my training, I was very gung-ho about it. And then you kind of realize, wait a minute, this is a little bit triggering. And so I definitely, the training that I'm wanting to do to be assaying the sexual assault nurse examination, the advocate that is in the hospital room while they're getting examined. And they have the program, which I don't really think I can talk about it, but the program that I was doing my training in, it like rotates in cycles. And so you have different shifts. And so since I have my job during the day, what I was training for was to be on the shift from like 11 at night to 6 in the morning, once a week, to get called out to the hospital. So I wanted to manage to do both. So I, still do my job during the day and still do makeup and then still do this. So
Man, you have so many things you want to do.
I know.
That's awesome.
It's a lot of hats now that I think about it.
Yeah, well, no, I kind of understand that. I have so many things I want to do here. I want to run this business. I want to do podcasts. I want to shoot commercials. I want to shoot real estate. I have so many different things that I want to do. Yeah. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
And figuring out what to prioritize and really make your life about it.
Yes.
And it's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know? And we're both lucky because we are still young. I know you think you aren't. I know you think you aren't.
Am I?
You are. You know, you've got at least maybe another 40 years ahead of you. 50 years ahead of you.
Here's open.
Yeah, you got it.
Jesus comes back, I'm ready.
There we go. I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't deny.
I was like, I would never presume to tell Jesus when to come back, but I'm ready.
But if now was the time he chose,
yeah.
I don't think either one of us would be upset.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, real quick, let's ask a couple questions that we haven't asked about your makeup business.
Sure.
Prices. Can you give us a price outline of what it usually costs?
Yeah, I actually, my friend Malia that was on your show. Yeah, I actually kind of, I didn't steal it. She was like, here, kind of use my pricing guide because whenever I started doing it, charging, I had no idea because she was my makeup artist for my wedding.
Yeah.
And so she gave me these, tips and things. And I'm so thankful for that.
Malia was your makeup artist?
Yeah, that's how I met her. Because
I didn't know. Did she tell us that she did makeup? I don't remember that.
Yeah, before she did her wedding coordinating business, she did hair and makeup. And she was because I was going to do my own wedding makeup because I don't like anyone doing mine. Like I'm very picky, but my friends were like, "This is your day. You need to relax. Like let someone else come." And so she was referred to me by another friend. And then she came to my house and we just hit it off. And I told her, I was like, okay, I do makeup, so I'm like picky and I will like call you out if I don't like it. I didn't say it like that. That was ugly. But and we just got to talking. And then once she decided that she left doing makeup and started her wedding coordinating business, she's just like, well, here's some pricing guides and go nuts and I'll help you and you help me. And so
that's great. Yeah. That's one thing I really like about doing actually this podcast idea is because we get to meet at a bunch of different vendors.
Right.
And if we hit it off and I love your product, I get to now say, I know this person. They're awesome at what they do.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. Like Malia, I can't tell you how many times I'm going to suggest people go with Malia.
She's amazing.
She is great.
I know.
Like she's such a hard worker. She's so young to have built such a huge team that she's already built.
Right.
Like she's doing really good things.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool. So that's how you get your prices.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are those?
Okay. So just for example, a bride, $75.
Okay.
Bridesmaid is $50.
Okay.
Mother of the bride is $50. Family portraits is, it's about just an even $50 except for the bride because there's a little bit extra attention that goes into it and that includes.
And people are gonna be looking at her more than anybody else.
Exactly.
You want to make sure that's perfect.
Right. So it's basically portraits, mother of the bride, prom, homecoming, $50. Bride $70 and like travel fee, which I really haven't had to travel yet, but
you're not against it, are you?
No.
I seem like you actually travel a lot on your personal time, don't you? It seems like I've seen you talk about going to Alaska and Colorado and
I did I went Alaska was I went and saw some friends and my friends went on vacation to Colorado. Oh, I felt like a world traveler and I really don't go anywhere. That's funny. I think the farthest I've only gone to Texas and that was just for my sister's wedding, but
okay.
It's basically I think I'd have to look at it actually because I haven't had to use it. I think it's like anywhere within 30 minutes is free and it's like $10 for every extra 10 miles I think or something.
Okay, cool.
Something like
that,
but.
we have a travel fee ourselves and basically it's anywhere inside of Oklahoma is free.
Yeah.
Because wedding photography, as you know, is already super expensive.
Right.
And so we feel like if you're paying the prices that we're asking, then we'll come to you if you're in Oklahoma. As soon as it gets outside of Oklahoma, it's $150 or $250 as soon as it gets out of the state.
Right.
If it's like 10 minutes from like outside the line, of course we're not going to charge anybody. But every hour outside that line, we add on $100.
Yeah.
So.
And also I feel like I've been doing makeup since 2013, but not actually like for events that long. And so I feel like when I have people like, oh my gosh, I need a makeup artist. This person's charging like $250 and like, oh, you're only charging $75. So I want to keep it, reasonable.
Yeah.
But I just since I kind of just do it for fun anyways, there's no sense in going crazy. I don't
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
so.
If this thing could become a full-time business for you, would you like that? Okay, imagine 5 years from now, you've built your dream life. What does it include? Does it include makeup?
Sure.
Does it include doing makeup for weddings, maybe traveling to New York, maybe traveling to Florida,
Yes.
Corpus Christi?
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, you could do that. You could see that. And
Sure.
Is that a perfect looking life for you in the next 5 years? Yeah? Okay, cool. Then I think you may not want to admit it as much, but I think you really want to be in this space. I think you've accidentally found yourself here.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. So Malia sent us to you because she really believes in you. We were messaging her and we were like, hey, do you have any friends that you think would want to come on this podcast and could really benefit from it? And she said, well, actually this chick, and because she really thinks that you do good work. So you have some people in your corner that you may not realize. But yeah, you got skill, and I think you can go a lot further than maybe you're being too humble.
I know. It's a downfall of mine.
Yeah. Are you ever told that that's a weakness point of yours? Is
actually,
yeah, too humble. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's a good weak spot. I'll take it. Well, really cool. We got your prices. Mm-hmm. How far are you willing to travel right now? How far would you want to go?
I don't even know. For now, within the state, I think is attainable.
Get a few more weddings under your belt, and then adventure on past.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I found that we're starting to go to Texas and Arkansas a little bit more, and we've been going. Do you know where Bono is? Arkansas. We've gone to Bono a couple times to the silos there for weddings, and you'd be surprised that people get called all over the state for makeup. So
really,
yeah, get called all over the country rather.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so get a few more under your belt and let's freaking rock this thing out.
I know. I had a friend actually. She just got married in Colorado, and she was like, I can't find a makeup artist, and so she just came to my house and we recorded it, me doing her makeup. And
wow!
So I was like, that's kind of like me traveling. I was like, I don't think I can go to Colorado.
I'm trying to think of how you could put a price on that. Could you put a price on that? Doing someone's makeup on a recording so they can replicate it?
I have no idea because so I had my cousin for homecoming the other day, and then my other cousin came that same night because I was just playing around with her because she was like, well, I want some tips and tricks, like do a tutorial. And I'm like, are you serious? No. Because I was like, I did try to upload a look one time, and it was like the biggest dumpster fire, and it was like an hour and a half long. And so I was like, no, just record it and take it home.
Well, okay, so you don't do YouTube, do you? No, it's super easy, okay? YouTube is one of the easiest things that you will ever be asked to do because there's no standards. There are zero standards.
Oh, good.
Well, really, because everybody, when they first start YouTube, they suck. Mm-hmm. The videos are always horrible. Well, we put out maybe 100 videos before we actually put out anything that was worth watching. Mm-hmm. Sierra put out 20 or so videos doing makeup tutorials when we were in South Korea because she didn't have a job. She was a stay-at-home wife at that point, and she's had so much time on her hands. So if you find yourself with these time on your hands, it is great for marketing. If Facebook never comes back up, you can send people these videos and say, this is what I could do for you.
Right.
It is a great marketing tool. And then another thing I always try to tell people whenever we talk about doing YouTube is that it is basically a video album, but like a photo album, but for videos. So maybe you do end up wanting kids and having kids in the future, right? No, none. No, maybe your cousin, maybe your niece. They can see these videos of you as time goes on, and you have some stuff to reference for your life. But YouTube's a fantastic thing. You can shoot it on your phone, edit it on your phone, put it on your computer because they don't allow you to upload from your phone anymore, and then just upload it to YouTube. It's super easy.
It makes sense because that's how I learned.
Exactly.
And I, especially during COVID, like not so much this, but like last year, I tried to do this thing where, okay, well, I have a lot of time on my hands, so I would on Facebook, hey guys, give me a look that you want, or I would put pictures of something that I liked. Hey, vote on a look that you like, and let me see if I can recreate it.
Yeah, do it like Facebook polls.
Yeah,
yeah, I love the polls on Facebook.
Yeah,
that's a great tool.
So I got a lot of feedback, and it's like, oh, that's a great look. I want to learn how to do that. Like, and then I can't upload. Like, it looks ridiculous. Like you said, like you put it on YouTube, and it like looks like crap the first time, and I'm like, I can't put this out here because you're not gonna learn anything. So I just stuck with, okay, I'll just put selfies and.
Yeah, and as well, if that's the way you like to run your business, there is no wrong way to run a business, in my opinion, other than not paying taxes. You got to pay taxes or else. That's the only wrong way. But thank you so much for sitting down with me.
No problem.
It was great to get to know you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, real quick, give your social media, anything you got, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, if you got that, tell us where we can find you.
Facebook is just Jamie Woody. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember. I think Instagram is Jamie Woody 13.
Okay.
Maybe.
Jamie Woody 13.
I think so.
Okay, cool.
I haven't looked it up lately, but just those are pretty much the only two that I.
Cool.
Use,
and you upload some stuff on Instagram. Do you put your makeup looks on there?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's great.
do.
Yeah. If you guys want to find her, Jamie Woody 13.
13.
Yeah. Thank you, Jamie
Thank
Woody.
you so
Thank you
much.
so much for hanging out with me, guys. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Also, come back every single Monday. We are uploading a new video, a new vendor, getting to know another vendor here in Oklahoma City that you can help plan your wedding with. It's a good time. We'll see you next time. Bye. All right.